Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known as BrightShine. I live right here in the city of Memphis in the county seat. It's in the state of Tennessee. Today's date is early Sunday morning, December the 23rd, 2018. The time is 12:48 a.m. First, say thank you to all my fans. Excuse me. First, say thank you to all my fans, my support, for your continued encouragement and support. I'm continuing to keep myself employed right here in the Memphis tri-state area. I'm continuing to further my education at Monroe College Online. I'm pursuing my social media study in business administration, concentration market. At this present time, I've taken a break from going to school, but in the very near future, I will be going back to Monroe College Online to pursue my social media study in business administration, concentration market. What I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna do my Instagram. Excuse me. I'm looking at my phone trying to adjust the light, because what I've been doing, I've been leaving my phone on just auto, with the light. So what I said I was gonna do this day, on today in my next video, today and tomorrow, I was gonna try to adjust the light, just lighten it up a little bit. not so much that it drain the power on the phone, but just to lighten it up a little more, and so take it up a little more. Yeah, that's good enough. My name is Eric D. Johnson, also known as BrightShine. They're right here in the city of Memphis. It's in the county ship, it's in the state of Tennessee. Today's date is early Sunday morning, December the 23rd, 2018. The time is 12:54 a.m. First, I thank all my family, my support for your continued encouragement and support. Excuse me. Anti-gang. Anti-gang. Now these are just a few of the free logo design websites that you can go to make anti-gang logos. Excuse me. First one, I always give thanks to God. First one, I always give thanks to God for the blessings and the guidance that He provides us all with. You know. And now, you know, I always do when I do my Instagram, and I always have my YouTube channel, you know, recording at the same time, because after I do my Instagram, I do my Periscope, you know, my Periscope video, and I have my YouTube channel recording at the same time. Like right now, while I'm doing my Instagram, my YouTube channel is recording. Excuse me. Doggone congestion. Now, trying to make sure I keep my lighting on my phone, and always, also, by the way, you know I, been talking about my brand new phone and my brand new phone case. I did get my brand new phone case. I did get my brand new phone case. Then Monday, it came Monday. It did come Monday, And so, to the United States Postal Service, they got it right then. But at first they had sent my brand new phone case across the bridge and then back, over to Jonesboro, Arkansas, and back to Memphis. But Monday I did get my brand new phone case now. But like I was saying, I will my YouTube channel I always record. But like I said, after I do my Instagram video, I'm gonna do my Periscope video, and my YouTube channel is recording. And so all those who are watching my watching my Instagram video, you can always watch my whole YouTube video, because like I said, as soon as I do get through record my Instagram video, I'm gonna do my Periscope video. Now, right before I started my video, I was trying to adjust my lighting. I've been leaving it on auto. You know how your phone have an auto light, the lighting, auto. I just, been leaving it on auto. I ain't even tried to move it or adjust it. I ain't even thought nothing about it. But then, later on, earlier during this week, I thought about it. I said, when I was using my phone, and then I looked at it, and I was like, well, you know what? I might kind of, move it up a little bit on its own. But when you leave it on auto, it'll adjust on its own. So let me check again. But then I might just leave it. Check, see did it stay. Well, so far, let me see. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, no. Let me see something. Well, no. But now let's go ahead and get started. Well, because it's right at 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't, really just be considering myself like late or anything, but it's always my intent, in between 12:30 a.m., 12. And so a lot of times I still be, in the process of getting myself together and doing things. But we're pretty much on schedule, yeah. So I'm going to continue to complain. I'm going to continue to speak out. People saying they are gang plus stir. People saying they are mob plus stir. People saying they are boss. They are goon. They are thug. People say they are crook and a hoodlum, and people say they are macking a player, and people say they are pimping a whore, and people say they are hustler. People say they are nigga, being a nigga house nigga, It's all street slang. It's all street slang. There's nothing official about no street slang. It's nothing. Excuse me. There's nothing official about no street slang. There's nothing official about no street slang. Because people all over the earth communicate and use language. Now, let's just say, take me for instance. I graduated high school and I earned a high school diploma. Now, some people didn't graduate high school, but they did get earn a GED. Then you have some people who didn't graduate high school. They didn't they didn't earn no high school diploma or a GED. So you don't know. You don't know how to read, write, or do math. You don't know science and technology. You don't know social studies. And then when it comes to vocational training, and technical training. You don't know. You don't know. And then when it comes to street slang, think about, for example, street slang. Take money. Music. Like we've been going over music, hip and hop and rock and roll and swing, groove, jazz and blues, doo-wop, bebop. You can switch them words around because there's nothing official about no street slang. Trying to get upset. Hip hop. There's nothing official about no street slang. There's nothing official about no rock and roll. You can take all them instruments before they even say the word rock and roll. Take a drum and a horn. Like, how you gonna get an attitude about a horn? People in ancient times took animals and took horns off the animals to blow in. And then people made drums. So what you getting upset about? Talking about some hip and hop. Talking about the beat. Don't get upset. What you getting upset about? People been beating and blowing in horns and beating on drums before you even said anything. Talking about jazz and what they call string instruments and things of this nature. People have been playing instruments for years in ancient times. That stuff you be talking, there's nothing official about no hip and hop, no rock and roll. There's nothing official about no swing and groove, jazz, blues, and doo and wop and b and wop. It's street slang. And then you can take tic-tac-toe and hop and scotch. Take money and currency in exchange. People all over the earth use money in exchange, use currency, and they say street slang. All over, you can go to the quick reference, Wikipedia, all over the world. For example, here in the United States, they take street slang bucks, rack, stack, bands, dough and scratch and loot and moolah, Benjamins and dead presidents. It's street slang. Nothing official about no street slang. And then there again, think about how long people on this earth have been using, money or, currency. There's nothing official about no street slang. Nothing official about no street slang. Now think of, this is the weekend. So, the people with the bachelor degree, the master degree, the PhD, the sorority and the fraternity. The sorority and the fraternity. The sorority and the fraternity. They off on the weekend. Now some people do work weekends. Me, I don't have a job that requires me to work on the weekend. So, but they waiting on me to come back to work. They always wait till you come back to work and all this stuff to say all that ignorant nonsense. Some street slang. The sorority and the fraternity. Ain't nothing official about no sorority and fraternity. Ain't nothing right about no sorority and fraternity. It's just some ignorant nonsense, some junk. They made it up. It's all made up, man, by organized crime. Organized crime and devil worship. It's one and the same. Go all the way back to ancient times. Go all the way back in ancient history. Organized crime, devil worship. See, the devil didn't just start trying to deceive people in today with alcohol and drugs. The devil been deceiving people on this earth. The devil been deceiving people and is still trying to be a negative influence on all of us. Me and you, trying to deceive all of us. But we all blessed with God's word, and we have to continue to first of all ask God to guide us. Ask God for guidance, because we can't do it on our own. Do it look like you can do it by no? We need God. We need God. We really do. Don't even think that we don't. Yes, we do. Look at the world. We need God. Yes, we do. And so like organized crime and devil worship, it's one and the same. If you ain't listening to God, who you listen to? The devil. You ain't got to get in no argument with nobody about it. You don't try to get into a beat, debate and organized crime and devil. It's the one and the same. Now this is International Bill of Human Rights. And this is the Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. And this is the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. And this is the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. And this is the world's oldest human rights organization, Anti-Slavery International. And this is the International Federation for Human Rights. And this is the world's oldest international conservation organization, BirdLife International. And this is Fauna and Flora International, was the world's first international wildlife conservation organization. And this is the world's oldest global environmental organization, International Union for Conservation of Nature, and also the World Wildlife Fund. Now, as you know, there are some other organizations, just like those we just got to mention. And they're trying to stop and end, just like those organizations, like the United Nations. Just like the United Nations. Because, look, think, it hasn't always been a United Nations. It hasn't always been a League of Nations. It hasn't always been an anti-slavery international. But it is here today. It hasn't always been an international union for the conservation of nature and the fauna and flora international. It hasn't always been a world wildlife fund. See what I'm talking about? It hasn't always been of BirdLife International. It hasn't. It hasn't always been. All these organizations that we're talking about, they haven't always been in existence. You know, it hasn't always been. Now, you have Amnesty International, you have Human Rights Watch, Global Rights, Frontline Defenders, Human Rights Without Frontiers, International Service for Human Rights. You have Soil and Water. What's this? Oh, here we go. We got Biodiversity International. You got Earth Day Network, the Environmental Defense Fund. You have Friends of the Earth, Friends of Nature, Greenpeace, the Nature Conservancy, Wildlife Conservation Society. And then you have Soil and Water Conservation, Clean Water Action. You have World Water Council, Marine Conservation Institute, Marine Conservation Alliance, the Oceanic Preservation Society. You got the Oceanic Society, the Global Ocean Commission, the International Marine Life Alliance. You have Conservation International Wildlife Conservation Society, the Conservation Fund, League of Conservation Voters, Earth Watch Institute, Conservancy Association, Earth Justice, the Conservation Volunteers, and Wildlife Conservation Network, Endangered Wildlife Trust, the Biodiversity and Nature Conservancy Association, Rare Species Conservation Center, the Wildlife Research and Conservation Trust, the Rainforest Trust, the International Rainforest Conservation Organization, Rainforest Alliance, the Rainforest Action Network, and there are many, many other organizations. Many, many, many organizations around the world, all over this earth. All over this earth. They're trying to stop genocide, trying to stop atrocities from being perpetrated against humanity. They're trying to stop inhumanity. You know, they're trying to stop all kind of environmental violations, wildlife, trying to destroy wildlife, trying to destroy nature, trying to stop and end all this pollution, water pollution, ground pollution, air pollution, noise pollution. They're trying to stop all that and end all this. You know, but think about it. You know, in order for you to stop it, you have to know the source. You have to always see. You have to always know the source. You can't never say that you have a problem and you don't know the source of the problem. Because then that's a problem. You didn't do a thorough investigation. So you can't never say that there's a problem and you don't know the source of the problem that you identified as being a problem. You have to know the source. Because it's nothing that you're gonna be able to correct if you don't know the source. So when you think about water pollution, air pollution, ground pollution, noise pollution, when you think about genocide, when you think about human rights violations, you know, think about discrimination. Just think about discrimination. Think about harassment in general, not just specifically sexual harassment. Think about harassment. Because see, there's a lot of people who accuse other people of harassment. It's not just on the job. That's the reason why they had to have laws passed about lesbians and gays and bisexual, with transgender, you know, because of harassment. Harassment. Not just discrimination, but harassment. You know, there's been a lot of cases been reported. It didn't just end with discrimination, but I mean, it went further, you know, to harassment. But people, it wasn't just like a person was identified as being bisexual at work, and then when you left work, somebody in your neighborhood, or somebody, that live in your apartment complex, live in your apartment complex, wrote did something to your door. If you live in an apartment complex, they just say somebody, when you was in the apartment, they just say, somebody did something on your door. I'm talking about? They took a magic marker, took some spray paint, and spray painted something on your door because you identified yourself as being, bisexual or something. Or let's just say somebody did something to your car because you identified yourself as being transgender. Well, see, that's not discrimination. That's harassment. That's harassment. And it's not just about stuff like that. It can be something else. Just like that gang stuff we be talking about. See, it don't never get reported. Like a person, like bullying. They just say bullying. They don't never report it on the news as being a person who didn't want, a person being harassed by some other individuals in a gang. See, it always get reported being bullying. You see, that's not always right to do. It's not always right. I mean, bullying would still fall up under the category. It's going to still amount to harassment. It's going to still be harassment. It's going to still be harassment. When you get through, trying to talk about it and all that, it's going to still amount to harassment. But, the reason and all that, but I mean, it's going to still be harassment. Whether it be a child in school, it can still be somebody who identifies themselves about their sexual orientation or, still harassment. But see, organizations, just read why they have organizations today. Some people trying to have organizations stop bullying and, end all that because they saying there's something online too. Saying there's some things that people do online that they say that's bullying. And there's an organization that's trying to stop bullying and harassment, But what we're doing, we're putting it in the context because we have discrimination. You understand? And then you have harassment. You have discrimination. A lot of times it can be somebody at the apartment, like the management, don't want to rent the apartment to somebody that's transgender, But then that'll fall upon, according to the law, discrimination. That'll fall upon the law as being discrimination. But then the law also says that when the tenants, or it can be somebody who don't even live there in the apartment, but it can be somebody that know that you identify as being, trans something, and they, harass that person because of that reason. See? But see, that's when the law say that's harassment. then the law would say that's harassment. So we have organizations that are trying to stop, and end harassment, period. Now we can also talk about racial stuff, and it's all kind of, so that's the point we make. See, it's so many organizations that are in existence, that are in existence to stop and end all these different issues that the general public have. Excuse me. And so, the sorority and the fraternity. The sorority and the fraternity. There's nothing official about no sorority and fraternity. And there's nothing right about the sorority and fraternity. Excuse me. And that's a very important key point to make. That's a very key point to make. Because see, they always, the sorority and fraternity always be on the college campus. And they always try to give you this perception. You understand? That because they have a bachelor degree, master degree, or PhD, that automatically make you right. And that's not true. It's not true. It's not true. That's the reason why they had to have amendments to the Constitution. Because there was a lot of people who had education who made mistakes. Excuse me. Who made mistakes. They was incorrect. They was in error. They was wrong. So we had to have amendments to the Constitution for that very reason. Because the sorority and the fraternity, the people who started their fraternity, they never intend to do what's right. So fraternity is not right. You can't make it right. They didn't want to do what's right. You should denounce the whole idea of a sorority and a fraternity. And denounce it and renounce all that nonsense. Because the people who started the fraternity, they never intended to do what's right. They didn't want to do what's right. They was organized crime. It was organized crime. Now, as you know, Harvard University is the oldest institute of higher learning in the United States. Founded on March 13, 1639 in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Now, William and Mary College, Williamsburg, Virginia, founded February 8, 1693, the second oldest institution of higher learning. Now, see the intent. See the intent. Phi Beta Kappa Society, founded on December the 5th, 1776. The College of William and Mary, recognized as the first Greek letter student society in North America. The intent. They didn't intend to do what's right. They didn't intend to do what's right. The people at William and Mary College, they weren't trying to do what's right. The people who started Phi Beta Kappa Society, they weren't trying to do what's right. They didn't intend to do what's right. Alpha Delta Pi, first sorority founded 1851 Westland College in Macon, Georgia. They didn't intend to do what's right. They not trying to do what's right. They showing you right here. They showing it to you. They don't intend to do what's right. The first organization to adopt the word sorority was Gamma Phi Beta, established on November 11, 1874 at Syracuse University in Syracuse, New York. They weren't trying to do what's right. It's very obvious. It's very obvious. It should be obvious to you. They didn't intend to do what's right. You can't reform. You can't improve what other people did when they themselves didn't want to improve and reform. They wanted to do exactly what they did wrong. And that's what they did. They didn't want to do anything different. They wanted to do exactly what they did, which is do wrong. But see, that's the difference. Don't be like them. First of all, don't even support fraternities and sororities. Don't support it. Speak out. Expose the fraternity and the sorority. You understand? Discourage people from want to be a part of a fraternity and a sorority. Get as much information as you can on the fraternity and sorority, and provide, inform and educate the public about the fraternity and sorority. You understand? Don't join the fraternity and sorority. Don't join. Don't join no fraternity, no sorority. Get out the fraternity and sorority. Get out. They didn't intend to do what's right. William and Mary College, the people, they never intended to do what's right. They didn't want to do what's right. They wanted to do exactly what they did wrong. Then and now. They don't want to do what's right. Westland College and all the rest of Syracuse, they didn't intend to do what's right. They did exactly what they wanted to do wrong. You can't improve, you can't reform, because the people who did all that, they didn't want to improve, they didn't want to reform. They did exactly what they wanted to do wrong. But don't be like them. Don't be like them. Do what's right. Stand up for what's right. Stand up for what's right. Now, now the Freemasons, the Eastern Star, they be talking about Euclid, the mathematician. He lived in Alexandria, Egypt. And now he mentioned in the Regis poem, the Holloway manuscript, and also that Cook manuscript and that Dowling manuscript. Now the basis of the sorority and fraternity. People came from the old world. And back in the old world, you had secret societies. And see, some examples of them secret societies are the Skull and Bones, the Rosicrucians, the Sons of Liberty, the Thug Society, the Priory of Sion, the Ordo Templi Orientis, the Knights of the Golden Eagle, the Woodmen, the ancient Arabic order of the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, the Improved Order of Redmond, the P.O. Sisterhood, the Eastern Stars Freemasonry, the Loyal Order of Moose. You ever heard of the Elks? The Elks. The Elks. The Moose, the Loyal Order of Moose. You ever heard of the Elks? The Bilderberg Group, the Ku Klux Klan, the Knights of Matthias, the Knights of Columbus, the Illuminati, the Fathers of Society, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the Mystic Order of Veiled Prophets of the Enchanted Realm, the United Order of the Golden Cross, the United Ancient Order of Druids, the National Grange, the Ancient Order of Herbaneans. And then you have the Spanish Garduna, the Carbonaria, the Black Hand, the Mafia Cosa Nostra, the Triad, the Yakuza, the Osirica, and then there are many others. So like I said, they didn't intend to do what's right. They didn't intend to do what's right. But see, don't be like them. Do what's right. Don't support that sorority and don't support that fraternity. Cause see, think about that street gang out there in Los Angeles, California. That blood gang, that Crip gang. See, that's the sorority and the fraternity. That's the sorority and fraternity doing that. Up there in Chicago, Illinois, that folk gang, my people gang. See, that's the sorority and the fraternity. That's the sorority and fraternity doing all that. There's no such thing as no gang base. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as no gang. No such thing. But see, that'd be the sorority and fraternity doing wrong. Because that's what they intend to do wrong. There's no such thing. So you think about, American history. Think about the Native Americans who lived in this country. Think about people being brought over here from sub-Saharan Africa to be slaves. The people who started this sorority fraternity, they did not intend to do what's right. They didn't intend to do what's right. This fraternity, this sorority. Don't support the sorority and fraternity. Think about business and companies and corporations that the sorority and fraternity work for. Management with the bachelor degree, the master degree, and the PhD. We're talking about business, companies, corporations. Think about it. Here in the United States of America. And like we've been talking about doing business outside the United States of America. Look at the crimes they commit against the local population. Look at the crimes that the businesses, the companies, and the corporations commit against the local population. And then here in the United States of America, look at the crimes that these businesses, companies, corporations commit here in the United States of America. When we talk about discrimination, harassment, talk about pollution. Think about all this pollution on the earth. When you look back at world history, look at world history and the industrial, we're talking about industrialization. And you see all these businesses, companies, and corporations here in America. And then you look at the problems that we have with the climate. Look at the problems we have with the environment, with nature, and with wildlife. And I would think about, sure, we was talking about just like wildlife. One of the things that had caught my attention once before, over the Thanksgiving holiday, I was watching the Westminster Dog Show. And we were talking about dog breeding. Cats, kittens. I don't want to leave kittens out, cats. But I was watching, the Westminster Dog Show, and all these different dog breeds. And that's another form of that's another way that people can abuse animals. Is with dog breeding. With dog breeding, with cats, also kittens and puppies. Because like we were talking about, the kittens, they have health problems. They have health problems. puppies, they have health problems. And then you do all this crossbreeding. It's not that you just breed. They just take a Dalmatian, and you made a Dalmatian with a Dalmatian. This is think about when you take a Dalmatian, and then you make that Dalmatian with another breed of dog, like a Rottweiler. See, the Dalmatian got a health problem. The Rottweiler got a health problem. Then you done crossbred them dogs. Excuse me. You done crossbred them dogs, and now they got some puppies. And now the owner of them dogs, they don't even want the puppies. You ain't even think about getting the dogs spayed and neutered. So it won't have no puppies, that the owners don't want. You ain't think about getting this dog spayed or neutered. So they won't have no puppies. But think about the health problem. But the thing about it, what I was bringing up, because about animals, is people, wildlife, people be doing all this poaching. I'm talking about people be doing all this poaching, like people kill elephants for the ivory. They kill rhino, the rhinoceros for the ivory, for his horn. The rhinoceros got a horn. And so people would kill the rhinoceros just so they can get their horn, because it's ivory. And people kill animals, for fur. That's been a big issue around the world. Fur trading. Animals being killed for the fur. Almost some animals are not even here today. There's some on the brink of extinction, like the elephants. Some rhinoceros not even here no more, man. I think last year one of the rhinoceros, the last rhinoceros, I think it may have been the black rhino. I could be wrong, but I know it was one of those rhinoceros that they was trying to save, and I think it was one of them left. I think it was only it got down to the last rhino, and he died. But he died in captivity. But it's just a sad thing to say. That the last breed, the last one of that type of rhino, because there are different kind of rhinoceros. But if I ain't mistaken, it was like last year. He was in captivity. They kept him in captivity, to protect him, from the poachers. And he was the last one, and he died in captivity. But there's some other rhinoceros, they trying to save around the world, the conservationists and the people all around the world trying to save the rhinoceros and trying to save the elephants. It's really sad, man, that people have no regard for wildlife. And it's not just the elephants or the rhinoceros. Like I said, people do things to the animals for the fur. Just like we were talking about the puppies and the kittens. Me personally, I really don't see what you just want to look at a dog. Some people try to breed pit bulls, to fight. But other breeds. You constantly trying to take a poodle and trying to mix the poodle with other toy breeds, and the only thing you're gonna do is just look at the dog. Common sense tell everybody. What you gonna do with a toy breed? A toy breed don't do what they call a lap dog, a Pekingese. That's all a Pekingese is, a lap dog. That's what they call toy breed. All them little dogs, the little Yorkshire Terrier. This is what he is. He a lap dog. They bred them dogs for just to sit in your lap. Because there was a time when you had all these royalty, people who were monarchs, the king and the queen. They kept dogs and kittens, just so they could sit in their lap. But it was a status symbol. And that's the same thing with ivory. People would kill elephants, they would kill rhinoceros and any other source of ivory just so they can have a horn as a status symbol. Don't have no value for the elephant, don't have no value for the rhinoceros, don't have no value for the other animals, Some animals, like I said, they're not even here no more. Some of the amphibious, some of the fish in the water, some of the whales have been hunted to the point where some of the whales not even here no more. They on the verge, some on the verge of extinction. Some of the different type of animals and birds. We talking about Bird Life International. Some of the birds have been hunted to the brink of extinction. Some not even here. I think if I'm mistaken, one of the parrots. I was reading Fauna and Flora International. One of the parrots is extinct. One of the parrots is now extinct. They no more. They're not even here no more. One of the parrots. You know what I'm talking about? The parrot that some people like to put in a cage. That you try to, that you like to keep as a pet. Well, some of them parrots. I think one of the breeds of parrot that was, they said the scientists have said that one of the parrots not even here no more. It's now extinct. But see, it comes from the poachers, man. And see, the reason why I spend time talking about it because, see, people try to influence you, and they try to, try to get you to go along and try to, get you to support what they doing, and what they doing is ignorant. It's ignorant. You call yourself trying to make a living by killing elephants for ivory. You're gonna go out there and kill a rhino. Now see, one of the rhinos not even here no more. So now your source, your livelihood is gone. See, your livelihood gone now. You really are ignorant. But see, see, this is how you provoke other people to anger, Because see, then you think you gonna go hunt humans. See, we live in a different day and time. And see, people got guns and knives to fight back with. See? And so, because the elephant, the rhinoceros will defend themselves, but man got guns with bullets and hand grenades and explosives and all this. But but see, the sorority. See, you wouldn't think that the sorority, but that's who it is. It's the sorority. I'm trying to think about industrialization and the firearms. See, it was people who went into business to make guns. To make guns and make knives. It's a business. To make guns and bullets, the gunpowder. See, it's a business. And look at all the things that the business here in America, the gun companies that make guns and bullets and gunpowder here in the United States of America, they make all that stuff. And then look at all around the world, all the wars that have been fought, all the bloodshed. See, they never intend to do what's right. The sorority and fraternity. They don't intend to do what's right. The only thing they want to do is wrong. That's all they want to do. It's wrong. Don't support the sorority and the fraternity. Whatever you do, don't support the sorority fraternity. Don't let the sorority fraternity mislead you. Don't let the sorority fraternity mislead you. They try to recruit little girls and little boys in school. So then they go to college. They get initiated into the sorority fraternity. You know, you commit crimes on campus, off campus. You use and abuse alcohol and drugs. Don't let the sorority and the fraternity mislead you. Whatever you do, don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you. Oh, there it is. So like I said, don't let the sorority fraternity mislead you. Whatever you do, don't let the sorority fraternity mislead you. That's a big problem. The sorority fraternity. They've been allowed for so long, you know, to mislead, you know, people here in the United States of America. Then they go outside the United States of America and do the same thing, try to mislead others. See, it's organized crime. It's organized crime, devil worship. You see, organized crime is like the organized crime, the Catholic Church and all their particular churches, the Latin Rite, the Alexandrian Rite, Coptic, Ethiopian, Eritrean, the Armenian Rite, the Byzantine Rite, Albanian, Belarusian, Bulgarian, Croatian, and Serbian, the Greek, the Hungarian, the Italo-Albanian, the Macedonian, the Melkite, the Romanian, the Russian, Ruthenian, Slavic, and Ukrainian, the East Syrian Rite, Chaldean, Syro, the Malabar, the West Syrian Rite, Maronite, Syro, Malankara. That's the Catholic Church. Organized crime, devil worship. The Protestant Reformation churches, 95 theses. Major branches: Adventism, Anabaptism, Anglicanism, Baptist Church, Calvinism, Lutheranism, Methodism, Pentecostalism. Minor branches: Hussitism, Wallaceanism, Plymouth Brethren, Holiness Movement, Quakerism, interdenominational movement, evangelicalism, charismatic movement, neo-charismatic movement. Then you have other developments. But time for them to run out. Hold up. back. So, but the time ran out on that on my video. So, but again, organized crime, the Catholic Church, Latin Rite, the Alexandrian Rite, Coptic, Ethiopian, Eritrean, the Armenian Rite, Armenian, the Byzantine Rite, Albanian, Belarusian, Bulgarian, Croatian, and Serbian, Greek, Hungarian, Italo-Albanian, Macedonian, Melkite, Romanian, Russian, Ruthenian, Slavic, Ukrainian, East Syrian Rite, Chaldean, Syro-Malabar, the West Syrian Rite, Maronite, Syrian, Syro-Malabar. That's organized crime, devil worship. The Protestant Reformation Church, 95 theses, major branches: Adventism, Anabaptism, Anglicanism, Baptist Church, Calvinism, Lutheranism, Methodism, Pentecostalism, minor branches: Hussitism, Waldensianism, Plymouth Brethren, Holiness Movement, Quakerism, multiple others. The interdenominational movement: Evangelicalism, Charismatic Movement, Neo-Charismatic Movement, other development: Arminianism, Pietism, Puritanism, Neo-Orthodox, Paleo-Orthodox, Christian fundamentalism, modernism, and liberalism. Related movements: non-denominational church and house church. And then you have the American Restoration Movement. Like I said, the Protestant Reformation Movement churches, the 95 theses, organized crime, devil worship. Now, the American Restoration Movement, Stone Campbell Movement, Church of Christ, Churches of Christ, the unaffiliated Christian Church, Church of Christ, congregations, the Christian Church, Disciples of Christ, organized crime, devil worship. And then you have all these cult groups and cult leaders, like what's his name, Jim Jones, David Koresh, what's his name, Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard, Scientology. Then the Mormons, they have a prophet. He wrote a book. And then you have the Zoroastrianism, the Zoroastrianists, their prophet, he wrote a book and all that. And as you know, Islam, the Sunni Muslims, they follow Muhammad and his companions, the Sunnis. Then you have all these Shiite Muslims. They follow Ali, the Shiites. That's their prophet. And then you have the Baha'i. They have a prophet, the Baha'i. And then you have the Sikhs. They have a prophet. And then there's some others. They have some kind of leader or some founder. Who founded their faith or whatever. And then you have like the American Muslim Society. Then you have the Moorish Science Temple, the Nation of Islam, the 5% Nation, all these various black Hebrew Israelites, and the Rastafarian. It's all organized crime, devil worship. So, now let me get this comment there. But like I've been saying, man, don't let that sorority and fraternity mislead you. Now these are just a few of the free logo design websites you can go to make anti-gang logos. I'm getting ready to end my Instagram video. I'm finna do my Periscope video. I'm finna do my Periscope video. Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known BrightShine, live right here in the city of Memphis, in the county sheriff, in the state of Tennessee today and date. It's early Sunday morning, December the 23rd, 2018. The time, 2:04 a.m. First, I thank all my family, my support for their continued encouragement and support. Anti-gang. Anti-gang. Now these are just a few of the free logo design websites you can go to make anti-gang logo. Now remember these words: coercion, coerce, sexual coercion, psychological coercion, psychological manipulation, psychological abuse. Excuse me. Now, I just did my Instagram video, and I might have went a little long, on my Instagram because it's right now it's 8 minutes after 2 in the morning, 2:08 a.m. And I started my Instagram video around, it was about 12. It was about 12:50. Because I started, I always run I have my YouTube channel recording at the same time that I'm doing my Instagram, my Periscope, and Facebook Live, and so on and so forth. And so I might have been long, but it was important, to convey what I was conveying. And the same thing here, is that now on today's video, what I'm doing is that when I did my previous video, I got my new phone, I got my brand new phone, my brand new phone case, it did come Monday. It came this past Monday, it did come. So, I was looking at my phone earlier this week, and you know how you had your phone and you always leave your phone on, the lighting on auto. That's what I've been doing when I've been recording. Since I've been recording my new phone, I left it on auto, and I never did. But it got my attention one day this week, and I looked at it. I was saying, "Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna lighten it up a little bit." And so I lightened it up a little bit. But I'm gonna continue to complain. I'm gonna continue to speak out. And people saying they are goon, they are talking about they are gang and pluster. People talking about they are mob, pluster. People saying they are boss, they are goon, they are thug. People saying they are crook and a hooligan, and people saying they are Mac and a player, and people saying they are pimp and a whore, and a hustler, and people saying they are a nigga or a field nigga. People say all that ignorant nonsense. They do. They do. They say all that ignorant nonsense. Because that's what it is, some ignorant nonsense. People communicate all over the earth. People use language. And when it comes, street slang, ain't nothing official about no street slang, but people act like it is. They do. People act like it's something official about some street slang. Ain't nothing official about no street slang. When you think about it, some street slang. Think about music, for example. Think about music, for example. Think about hip and hop, rock and roll, swing and groove, jazz, blues, doo and wop, bebop. Man, you can take them words and switch them all around. Ain't nothing official about no street slang. Ain't nothing official about no street slang, tic-tac-toe and hop and scotch. Nothing official about no street slang. Think about, matter of fact, think about, somebody getting upset about some hip and hop, some rock and roll. People been having drums. Think about ancient times. Talking about a beat. You're talking about somebody gonna get upset about some hip and hop. People been making music and using instruments. So think about people beating on drums. Think about people taking animal horns and blowing in an animal horn. Think about string instruments. People have been using string instruments for years, and you talking about some hip and hop and some rock and roll, some jazz and swing. Ain't nothing talking about blues and all that. Ain't nothing official about no street slang. Nothing official about no street slang. We can go to the quick reference Wikipedia. We can go to quick reference Wikipedia, for example, and look up money, currency for people all over the world. They use money, they use currency exchange, and they make up street slang. People all over the world, even in ancient times, used money, currency, exchange. There's nothing official about no street slang. Now here in the United States, for example, street slang, bucks, rack, stack, bands, dough and scratch, loot, moolah, Benjamin, dead president. Nothing official about no street slang. Nothing official about no street slang. Now, take me for instance. I graduated high school, earned my high school diploma. Some people didn't graduate high school, but they earned a GED. Think about a person who didn't graduate high school. They didn't earn a GED. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know how to read, you don't know how to write, you don't know how to do math. You don't know science and technology. You know, you don't know social studies. You don't know vocational training. You don't know technical training. You don't know. You don't know. It's nothing official about no street slang. Now think about, this the weekend. I'm not at work, and the people out for the weekend. Think about a person with a bachelor's degree, PhD, the sorority and the fraternity. The sorority and the fraternity. I'm not at work, so they waiting on me and everybody else to come back to work Monday morning. And then you hear all that ignorant nonsense. Always waiting for you to come back on the job. Always waiting for you to come back on the job. You know, some ignorant nonsense. You know, that sorority fraternity, don't let that sorority fraternity mislead you. There's nothing official about no sorority fraternity. There's nothing right about the sorority fraternity. They didn't intend to do what's right. They didn't intend to do what's right. The people at the very beginning, the sorority fraternity, they didn't intend to do what's right. You can't improve, you can't reform the sorority and fraternity. Because the people who started the sorority fraternity, they didn't intend to do what's right. They did what they intended to do wrong. They did what they intended to do wrong. But see, you got to be different than the people who started that sorority fraternity. You got to be different. You got to do what's right. And doing what's right, don't join the sorority fraternity. Get out the sorority fraternity. Denounce and renounce all that sorority fraternity mess. You know, do what's right. That's what's right. Do what's right. Don't let other people influence other people to join the sorority fraternity. Do what's right. See? Harvard University, the oldest institution of higher learning in the United States, founded March 13, 1639, in Cambridge, Massachusetts. William and Mary College in Williamsburg, Virginia, founded February the 8th, 1693, as the second oldest institution of higher learning. Pay attention. You finna see. This is how you know that the people who start that sorority, they didn't intend to do what's right. Phi Beta Kappa Society, founded December the 5th, 1776. The College of William and Mary, recognized as the first Greek level student society in North America. They didn't intend to do what's right. And the people at William and Mary College didn't intend to do what's right. They weren't trying, that was not what they was intending to do. They did exactly what they intended to do wrong. See, you can't improve, you can't reform the sorority and fraternity, because the people who started the sorority and fraternity, they never intended to do what's right. Alpha Delta Pi, first sorority founded in 1851, Wesleyan College in Macon, Georgia. They didn't intend to do what's right. It's very obvious they didn't intend to do what's right. You can't improve, you can't reform the sorority and fraternity. The people who started the sorority, they didn't intend to do what's right. The first organization to adopt the word sorority was Gamma Phi Beta, established on November 11, 1874, in Syracuse University, Syracuse, New York. They didn't intend to do what's right. They showing they didn't intend to do what's right. They didn't intend to do what's right. But you do something different. You do what's right. Don't join. Don't join the sorority and fraternity. Don't let other people join the sorority and fraternity. Denounce and renounce the sorority and fraternity. The whole idea of a sorority and fraternity. Speak out. Don't support the sorority and fraternity. Expose the sorority and fraternity for the wrong they do, for the wrong that was done and being done. That's what's doing what's right. Don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you. Whatever you do, don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you. They're not trying to do what's right. There's nothing right about the sorority and fraternity. It's organized crime, devil worship. Don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you. Whatever you do, don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you. Now, Euclid, the mathematician, Freemason and Eastern Star, lived in Alexandria, Egypt. And he mentioned in the Regis poem in the Holloway manuscript. And then you have the Cook manuscript, and then you have the Dowling manuscript. Now, the basis of the sorority and fraternity. The old world secret societies. For example, Skull and Bone, Rosicrucian, the Sons of Liberty, Thug Society, the Pirates, Scion, the Ordo Templi Orientis, the Knights of the Golden Eagle, the Woodmen, the ancient Arabic order of the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, the Improved Order of Redmond, the P.O. Sisterhood, the Eastern Stars, the Freemasonry, and then you had the Loyal Order of Moose. You'd heard of the Elks, the Elks, the Bilderberg Group, the Ku Klux Klan, the Knights of Matthias, the Knights of Columbus, the Illuminati, the Forester Society, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the Mystic Order of the Veiled Prophets of the Enchanted Realm, the United Order of the Golden Cross, the United Ancient Order of Druids, the National Brain, the Ancient Order of Hermenean, and then there's some more. The Spanish God Luna, the Carbonarian, the Black Hand, the Mafia Cosa Nostra, the Triad, the Yakuza, the Osirica. Don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you. Like we've been talking about that blood gang, that Crip gang out there in Los Angeles, California, around the United States of America. That'd be the sorority and fraternity. It's the sorority and fraternity that's doing it. And then up there in Chicago, the folk gang and the My People gang, that'd be the sorority and fraternity doing that ignorant nonsense. There's no such thing as no gang base. There's no such thing as no gang. There's no such thing. That's the sorority and the fraternity. The sorority and fraternity, the young girls and young boys, they graduate high school and they go to these college campuses all around this country, all around America. And they get initiated into these sororities and these fraternities. And they commit crimes on the campus, off the campus. They use and abuse alcohol and drugs. Don't support that sorority and fraternity, ignorant nonsense. There's nothing official about the sorority and the fraternity. There's nothing right about the sorority and fraternity, because the people who started the sorority and fraternity, they never intended to do what's right. They never intended to do what's right. Don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you. Now, this is the International Bill of Human Rights. This is the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. And this is the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. This is the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. This is the world's oldest human rights organization, Anti-Slavery International. This is the International Federation for Human Rights. And this is the world's oldest international conservation organization, BirdLife International. And this is Fauna and Flora International, was the world's first international wildlife conservation organization. And this is the world's oldest global environmental organization, International Union for Conservation of Nature, and also the World Wildlife Fund. Now, as you can see, there are a lot of organizations. You know, it hasn't always been a United Nations. It hasn't always been a League of Nations. It hasn't always been no Anti-Slavery International. It hasn't always been a, Fauna and Flora International. It hasn't always been a BirdLife International. You know, it hasn't always been an International Union for the Conservation of Nature. It hasn't always been a World Wildlife Fund. It just haven't always been, organizations that want to stop, want to end, slavery and, trying to destroy wildlife, trying to destroy nature, trying to destroy the environment, trying to destroy mankind, period. But it is. It's organizations that's trying to stop it, trying to end it, trying to stop and end genocide, trying to stop and end human rights violations, trying to end atrocities from being perpetrated. Trying to stop and discrimination, trying to stop and harassment, not just sexual harassment, but harassment. You know, you have organizations like, for example, Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, Global Rights, Frontline Defenders, Human Rights Without Frontiers, International Service for Human Rights, Biodiversity, International Earth Day Network, Environmental Defense Fund, Friends of the Earth, Friends of Nature, Greenpeace, and Nature Conservancy, Wildlife Conservation Society, Soil and Water Conservation, Clean Water Action, World Water Council, Marine Conservation Institute, Marine Conservation Alliance, the Oceanic Preservation Society, Ocean Society, Global Ocean Commission, International Marine Life Alliance. Conservation International, Wildlife Conservation Society, the Conservation Fund, the League of Conservation Voters, Earthwatch Institute, Conservancy Association, Earth Justice, the Conservation Volunteers, Wildlife Conservation Network, Endangered Wildlife Trust, Biodiversity and Nature Conservancy Association, Rare Species Conservation Center, Wildlife Research and Conservation Trust, Rainforest Trust, International Rainforest Conservation Organization, Rainforest Alliance, Rainforest Action Network. It's a lot of organizations, a lot more. That I didn't mention, but they're trying to stop and end ground pollution, water pollution, air pollution, noise pollution, destruction of the environment, nature, wildlife, destruction of mankind. See the sorority and the fraternity. We have to take time and to do history. We have to look at world history. See, some people, they not, they just live their everyday life and they not so much focused on, history. They live their everyday life. That's not blaming, like making it sound like, but I mean, I don't know, some people, they just not, putting more emphasis, they're not, emphasis not always on history, and then history, when we talk about history, we go far back, But think about the sorority fraternity. See, this is how they get over on people, is when they emphasize history. See, they'll take history, just like, for example, white people. For example, white people, when I say white people, the sorority. See, see, the people at the beginning, at the start, they didn't intend to do what's right. You see all that slavery, you see the Native Americans, slavery, you see history. They took the Bible. People, in the past, they took the Bible and said things about other groups of people because they they intentionally used and misused the Bible. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. They took some words out of the Bible and they used and misused the Bible to mislead other people to listen, so they'll listen to them. And so, history, history is important. History is important. See, this is the reason why it's important for people to stop and end genocide. Because it's rooted in, when you look around the earth and you hear about genocide somewhere on this earth, somebody took history. Somebody took history and one group is against another group. Every time you see something about some here, look what's happening look what's happening over there in Myanmar right now. Everybody around the world can look at each other and ask exactly what's the reason. We always go to this point. We always ask, what's the cause? What's the cause in Myanmar? What's going on in Myanmar? It's rooted in history. You got one group that's the predominant, like the majority in this border, in this man-made border. You have a majority. It's what they call ethnic cleansing. This man-made border, and you had this majority ethnic group, and then you had this minority ethnic group, and then you see all these refugees, all these migrants. You see, it's happening all over. It's been happening all over the sea. It's people lying and taking information and distorting information. Then you have things like that happening. See? But see, the sorority and fraternity do the same thing. See, it's not just in Myanmar. Think about the history of America. Like I said, look at the Native Americans. Right here in the United States of America. Look at the history of America. Look at the Native Americans. The sorority and the fraternity. Look at African Americans being brought over here from sub-Saharan Africa, slaves. The sorority and the fraternity. The sorority and the fraternity. They didn't intend to do what's right. They never intend to do what's right. Don't support the sorority and fraternity. Whatever you do, don't support the sorority and fraternity. Because they never intend to do what's right. That's the reason why we have all these organizations today. Just like I just got you showing with the sorority and fraternity. When you see the time and the date, it's obvious that they didn't intend, the people who started, they didn't intend to do what's right. So don't support it. You can't improve and reform the sorority and the fraternity. The people who started the sorority and fraternity, they never intend to do what's right. They didn't intend to do what's right. You want to do what's right? Don't join the sorority and fraternity. Don't allow people to join the sorority and fraternity. Don't sit idly by and let the sorority and fraternity get away with committing crimes on the campus and off the campus. See? Denounce and renounce the sorority and fraternity, the whole concept. Denounce it, renounce it. They didn't intend to do what's right. Denounce it and renounce it. Don't support it. Don't support sorority and fraternity. Don't support it. Don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you. See, when we talk about these organizations and things that they try to stop and end, the wrong that the sorority and fraternity be doing. Think about it. The sorority, the businesses, companies, and corporations. Remember we were talking about how slavery was a business. It's a business. Even today, like anti-slavery, they talk about a modern day slave today, even in 2018. But you got all these people with degrees, and they make iPhones and the Android phone and the iPhone, the smartphone. People can go all out in space. Now we're going to Mars. But then you had the sorority and fraternity. The businesses, the companies, the corporations that the sorority and fraternity work for. And you look at people all over the earth. Look at people all over the sea. See, this would be why history is important. See, you don't forget about industrialization. You don't forget about industrialization. See, a lot of people on this earth. See, sometimes you have to remind people about industrialization. You know all the guns and bullets and gunpowder that people use here in the United States of America. It's a business. You see, all these businesses come incorporate the sorority fraternity. Look around the earth and how the business and companies incorporate the crimes they commit here in America, like discrimination, harassment, the sorority fraternity here in the United States of America. Think about all the crimes against humanity that the sorority and fraternity commit right here in the United States of America. And then you got these same businesses, companies, and corporations. They do business outside of the United States of America. And they commit crimes outside of the United States of America. It be the sorority and fraternity. Don't support the sorority and fraternity. Don't support the sorority and fraternity. They commit crimes on account of all account. They use and abuse alcohol and drugs. Don't support the sorority and fraternity. You know, when I was doing my Instagram video, for example, think about the fur trade. You know, think about animals. Think about animals. Like poaching, the poachers. See, and the reason why I said about poaching, people try to influence you to support, to listen to them. The poachers, they want you to listen to them. Why do I don't want to listen to you. I don't want to listen to nothing you got to say. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. It's no, you think about the animals that are extinct. I don't want to listen to you because you're ignorant. Simple as that. You're ignorant. When I did my Instagram video just about an hour ago, I was talking about the rhino, the rhinoceros, the elephants. People do. That's a business. People kill animals for the ivory. For the ivory, people just like fur trade. People, hunt certain animals for their fur. And so we think about these animals like the elephants. Some elephants are almost extinct. And yet it's still, that's a business. The ivory trade. Some elephants are almost extinct. Just like the rhinoceros. The ivory. Some rhinoceros are extinct. I was thinking about one of the rhinoceros species. If I ain't mistaken, it was last year. One of the rhinoceros species, it was only one rhino left, and they had him in captivity. He was in captivity, and he passed away. Well, he was in captivity, but eventually he passed away. He was the last one of his species. That's sad. But you're a poacher and you're in business. That's your livelihood. That's how you make your living. Poaching. One of the rhinoceros species is no longer here. You really are stupid. You really are stupid. That's how you make your livelihood. Ivory. One of the species of the rhinoceros is not even here no more. So if you can't get ivory from that rhinoceros no more, you really are stupid. You just hunted the rhinoceros till they gone. So that tells me that you really weren't interested in ivory. It was an excuse that you use. So you had some kind of other agenda. You just want to kill. It was like, see, this is the reason why I was saying about animals, like dogs and kittens. I remember a couple of weeks ago I had watched the Westminster dog show. And, they had all the different variety of dogs, breeds of dogs. And dogs and kittens, cats and dogs, they have diseases. Just they have health problems. Just like humans do, they have health problems. And so you see people, they'll take these breeds of cats and dogs, and they'll breed. And then you have these, what they call cross breeds. For example, for a dog, like the dog, you'll take a Rottweiler and mix them with a Doberman Pinscher. I don't know why you do that. So it don't serve no purpose. You see the point, man? See, the only thing you're gonna do is just look at the dog. There's nothing that dog gonna do. There's no reason for you to be talking about you took a Doberman Pinscher and mixed it with a Rottweiler. Both dogs are guard dogs. There's no super guard dog. You're not gonna take no Rottweiler and mix them with a Doberman Pinscher and make a super guard dog. There's no such thing here. See, this is animal abuse. See, this is a way that people abuse animals. Just, cats and dogs. It's animal abuse. Dogs have health problems. And every time you make a dog, the puppies and the kittens, when you make a cat, they inherit the health problem for their parents. See, it's animal abuse. Then what you be doing, you be abusing animals. See, this is what people be doing, just like the poacher. See, you say you're trying to make a living. That's your livelihood. See, you have a sinister agenda. You just want to kill. That's all it is. See, you just evil, man. You just evil. You just do stuff that don't make no sense. But you use that as an excuse. Your livelihood. You trying to make a living. Just like a person here in the United States of America, they're gonna go sell drugs because you want to make a living. All these jobs out here, but you want to sell drugs because you trying to make a living. You just don't want to do right. That's all it is. That's all. You don't want to do what's right. You don't want to work anyway. You just one of these type of people, man, they just don't want to do what's right. That's all it is. It's the same thing like a poacher. Sitting up there trying to tell everybody, want everybody to listen to you. That's how you make your living. You kill elephants for the ivory, and you gonna make a lot of money. Now all the elephants on the verge of extinction. I'd be a damn fool to listen to a poacher. I'd be a damn fool to listen to a poacher. All these extinct animals that you claim you're trying to make a living. It's a lot of money making ivory. Well, it's a status symbol. For royalty. But for you, it's your livelihood. you just one of this organized crime, devil worshippers. That's what you really be doing. That's exactly what you be doing. You know, you be trying to kill elephants and rhinoceroses, and because you're a devil worshiper. You know, it's organized crime. You see, he don't want to admit it. This is what it is. See, a lot of people, they don't want to admit to the general public. They don't want to admit that they're a devil worshiper. See, you know, some people, they don't understand, like when you say organized crime and devil worship, they don't understand. But when you understand history, you know, like ancient people, you know, all this talk about God, how the devil in the past, you know, in ancient time, the devil deceived a lot of people. A lot of people were deceived by the devil, just like today. People be deceived by the devil. The devil deceived a lot of people. He trying to deceive me, trying to deceive you. He hasn't stopped. The devil has not stopped trying to deceive all of us. And that's what all this is. It's the organized crime. Devil worship. See? And that's the same thing that sorority and fraternity. Don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you. It's organized crime. It's devil worship. Let's see. Organized crime. The Catholic Church. That's what it is. Organized crime. Devil worship. It's devil worship. It's organized crime. The Latin, the Alexandrian Rite, Coptic, Ethiopian, Eritrean, the Armenian Rite, Armenian, the Byzantine Rite, Albanian, Belarusian, Bulgarian, the Croatian and Serbian, the Greek, the Hungarian, the Italo, Albanian, Macedonian, Melkite, Romanian, Russian, Ruthenian, Slavic, and Ukrainian. The East Syrian Rite, the Chaldean, the Syro, the Malabar, the West Syrian Rite, Maronite, the Syrian, the Syro-Manichaean. It's organized crime, devil worship. Protestant Reformation churches, the 95 Theses, major branches, Adventism, Anabaptism, Anglicanism, Baptist churches, Calvinism, Lutheranism, Methodism, Pentecostalism. Then you have your minor branches, Hussitism, Waldensianism, Plymouth Brethren, Holiness Movement, Quakerism, multiple others. Then you have your interdenominational movement, Evangelicalism, Charismatic movement, Neo-Charismatic movement. Then you have your other developments, Arminianism, Pietism, Puritanism, Neo-Orthodox, Paleo-Orthodox, Christian fundamentalism, Modernism, and Liberalism. And then you have your related movements, your non-denominational church, your house churches. It's organized crime, devil worship. The American Restoration Movement, Stone Counter Movement, Churches of Christ, the unaffiliated Christian Church, Church of Christ Congregation, the Christian Church, Disciples of Christ. It's organized crime, devil worship. And then you have these cult leaders, cult groups. What's his name? David Koresh, Jim Jones, L. Ron Hubbard, no Scientologists. Then you have the Mormons. They had a prophet. He wrote a book. Then you have, for example, Zoroaster. He was a prophet. Then you know, in Islam, you know, Prophet Muhammad and the companions and all his companions, the Sunni Muslims, you know, they called Jesus Christ just a prophet. He wasn't the Son of God, he was just a prophet. And then you had the Shiite Muslim. They say that Ali is the prophet, you know. And then you had the Baha'i. They had a prophet. And then you had the Sikhs. They had a prophet. Then it's some more. It's some more. You know, it's supposed to be the founder of like I said, they're supposed to be the leader of their faith or whatever. And so, and then you have the American Muslim Society, the Moorish Science Temple, the Nation of Islam, the 5% the Black Hebrew Israelites, the Rastafarian. They all it's all organized crime. It's all organized crime, devil worship. It's all devil worship. Don't let the sorority fraternity mislead you, because that's all they're trying to do is mislead you. That's all they're trying to do. Don't let the sorority fraternity mislead you. And so, I was just paying attention to my screen over here. Yes. Okay. And so, it's important that we have this, that we had these talks, because so many people, they listen to organized crime. They do. All right, because see, they try to disguise, they don't want people to really know that they be trying to, support organized crime. Like the sorority fraternity, that, they try to disguise what they do. And so, don't support the sorority fraternity, because that's one of them here around the world. Because it's not just in the United States of America, but it's around the world. The sorority fraternity. See, that it's been so long, so many years that it's a lot of people have done stuff and still doing stuff today. So you don't have to be in denial. First of all, you don't have to be, because see, it's a lot of evidence that show that the sorority fraternity is organized crime. So you don't have to spend your time, trying to defend the sorority fraternity. It's enough evidence. It's enough evidence, for everybody around the world to prove that the sorority fraternity is organized crime. Now I'm getting ready to go to the Bible, but I just wanted to make sure that we had this talk, because see, we don't allow the sorority fraternity to think that because they got a degree, bachelor, master's, PhD, that they're going to negatively influence people around the world who be watching my video. Then you think that you're going to infiltrate and mislead You understand? Like you've been trying to do. But take the time to to talk to people about the sorority and fraternity. And because see, they'll be aware of the activities of the sorority and fraternity. Because many people around the world already see, just when you see businesses, companies and corporations, American businesses, companies and corporations that do business outside of the United States of America, so they pretty much already aware of the negative activities of the sorority and fraternity, because they see it firsthand. The water pollution, the air pollution, the ground pollution, the noise pollution. And then you think about the racism, the discrimination, the harassment. Just like I briefly, when I just did my Instagram video, we were talking about, like some people like discrimination, harassment. Well, I mean, when you talk about discrimination, somebody being discriminated against because of their religious belief, like a lot of people here in the United States of America who are Catholics and Protestants. And then you have a lot of refugees coming from the Muslim world. And then they facing a lot of the Muslim refugees coming to America. They facing discrimination here in America. They come to America. They face discrimination because of their faith. Because of their faith. And then because of their faith, then you have to deal with bullying and harassment. You understand? See, you can be discriminated against, trying to come to America. Somebody might be working somewhere at the customs, what they call it, customs and naturalization or border patrol, trying to come to America. Somebody might have a job. And you coming from one of these Muslim predominant countries and trying to come to America, you get discriminated, you end up getting discriminated against. Then you end up, trying to find some place to live. Then you face harassment. Because it's no longer just discrimination now. You can be driving in your car. You see what I'm talking about? See, it's not just discrimination. Now you're driving in your car. And then while you're driving in your car, see, one of the police officers pull you over. You want to speed. You were going to speed and everything, But the police officer happened to been driving out there and they saw you drive. Then they pulled you over. But see, that wouldn't be discrimination. According to the law, that wouldn't be discrimination, harassment. And why would you be harassed? Well, if you want to speed, and your tags, all the things we read for police, your tags not out, got the tags on the car, the registration, you want to speed. I mean, what is it that the police officers argue a suspect? So now we come into some harassment. See, dealing with the law. See, it's important because it's all dealing with the same thing. See, the sorority and the fraternity. See, when you talk about the discrimination, the harassment, and sometimes people may not understand. So, we give them an example. Like, what's the difference between discrimination in the law, discrimination and harassment. They might have they might think it's something similar. But in the law, discrimination is one thing, harassment is something else. Some people like sexual harassment. Well, harassment is not just sexual. See, now you're dealing with harassment. Somebody driving down the street and got pulled over by the police. That wouldn't be discrimination in the law. But it'll be in the law harassment. And there's that, so we have a little legal stuff in there, So so people see the sorority and the fraternity, the wrong that the sorority and fraternity has done and is doing here in America, where it's out around the world. The wrong. Don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you. Now, nations all around the world enact laws that are intended to make each and every one of us safe from crime. Now, the United States government passed the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970 and Title IX of the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970, the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, the RICO Act. It's anti-gang. It's anti-gang. Now, the Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Act of 1974 established the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, plus other related legislation. It's anti-gang. The Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, and the Comprehensive Gang Model, that's the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. The Bureau of Justice, the Office of Justice Program, the United States Department of Justice is anti-gang. The Office of Justice Program, the Bureau of Justice, the United States Department of Justice, the Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, the Project Safe Neighborhood, the United States Department of Justice, the Office of Community-Oriented Policing, the Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, the United States Department of Justice, the Office of Justice Program, the Bureau of Justice, the International Narcotics Law Enforcement Affairs, the United States Department of State, the Institute for Intergovernmental Affairs, Gang Resistance Education and Training, the GREAT Program. The United States Department of Justice, the Office of Justice Program, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, in October 2009, the National Youth Gang Center, which had been funded by the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention since 1995, merged with the National Gang Center, which had been funded by the Bureau of Justice since 2003. The National Gang Center compilated state laws against gangs, gang prevention, and overview of research program. Mr. James out of the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. Now, the United States Department of Justice, the Bureau of Justice System, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, National Gang Center Bulletin. And the title of that bulletin, History of Street Gangs in the United States. Read the books in the bulletin. Now, go to the quick reference, Wikipedia. You find the same information type, gangs in the United States. The United States Department of Justice, the Office of the United States Attorney Manual 1457, Criminal Street Gang Statute 18, United States Code 521, the United States Department of Justice, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, National Gang Intelligence Center, the United States Department of Justice, Organized Crime and Gang Section, and then there are other federal, state, and local agencies. The United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, National Institute of Justice, Anti-Gang Strategies, Prevention, Intervention, Assessment, and Suppression. The United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, National Institute of Justice, United States Department of Health and Human Services, Center for Disease Control and Prevention, National Center for Prevention and Control, changing course, preventing gang membership, striving to reduce youth violence everywhere. The United States Department of Justice, United States Department of Education, United States Department of Health and Human Services, United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, United States Department of Labor, and the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy, National Forum on Youth Violence Prevention. You can go to youth.gov. You can be informed about the National Forum on Youth Violence Prevention. You can be informed about the Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative. You can be informed about the Comprehensive Gang Model. The United States Department of Justice, the Bureau of Justice System, National Crime Prevention Council, keeping kids out of gangs. Anti-hate. Go to lawyers.com. Be informed about anti-hate. Now, the sorority and fraternity, they be lying in neighborhoods all around America. They be lying. They be lying. They be going around talking about the United States Constitution, talking about you got the right to freedom of expression. You got the right to freedom of assembly. You know, just to get people to listen to that ignorant nonsense talking about some gangs. But that's all that ignorant nonsense. That sorority fraternity is a gang. That's all it is. It's a gang. They never intend to do what's right. See, the United States Department of Justice, they told you it was wrong. Organized crime is wrong. And gangs is wrong. They told you it's wrong. You don't listen to the sorority fraternity. You don't listen to organized crime. You don't listen to gangs. See, the Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Act, they telling you it's wrong with the juvenile, the children at the juvenile center. They telling you that organized crime and gangster is wrong. They telling you it's wrong. Nobody got no business talking to no little girl, no little boy, trying to tell no little girl, no little boy that they got freedom of expression, they got freedom of assembly. They're trying to negatively influence little girls and little boys to join no criminal street gang. The United States Department of Justice, they told you it's wrong. The Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, that's the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. The Comprehensive Gang Model, that's the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. That's the Department of Justice. They telling you it's wrong. You being told it's wrong. Organized crime is wrong and gangs is wrong. A great program, gang resistance, it's the Department of Justice. They telling you it's wrong. The National Gang Center compilation of state laws against gangs. It's the Department of Justice. They telling you it's wrong. The United States Department of Federal Bureau of Investigation telling you it's wrong. National Gang Center, National Gang Intelligence Center, they telling you it's wrong. The United States Department of Justice, organized crime and gangs, they tell you organized crime and gangs is wrong. The United States Department of Justice, anti-gang strategy, prevention, intervention, assessment, so they tell you all this stuff is wrong. They're telling you it's wrong. Preventing gang membership, it's the Department of Justice. The whole United States government is the Department of Justice. They telling you that organized crime and gangs is wrong. Striving to reduce youth violence. They telling you that organized crime and gangs is wrong. So you don't need nobody in no sorority, no fraternity going around trying to negatively influence little girls and little boys. Talking about some freedom of expression, some freedom of assembly. It's not right. The National Forum on Youth Violence Prevention, that's the Department of Justice. And all the other departments. But it's the Department of Justice. They're telling everybody, domestic and foreign, that all that organized crime and gang is wrong. It's wrong. They're telling you it's wrong. The United States Department of Justice, the Bureau of Justice, National Crime Prevention Council, keeping kids out of gangs. They're telling you it's wrong. The anti-hazing, that's the Department of Justice telling the sorority fraternity that you are wrong. You're wrong. With your bachelor degree, your master's degree, your PhD, you are wrong. Anti-hazing, they telling you it's wrong. With your bachelor degree, your master's degree, your PhD, sorority fraternity, the Department of Justice telling you it's wrong. Organized crime and gang is wrong. And then also the Comprehensive Drug Abuse Prevention and Control Act of 1970, the Controlled Substance Act, the Psychotropic Substance Act, the Continuing Criminal Enterprise Statute, and the Kingpin Statute. It's all anti-gang. It's the United States Department of Justice telling everybody domestic is what it's for. That organized crime and gang is wrong. It's wrong. Now, get ready to go to the Bible. Get ready to go to the Bible. The first time you see the word Jew, in the Old Testament, go to the book of Esther. And also go to the book of Esther, the 2nd chapter, the 5th verse. The first time you see the word Jews in the Old Testament, go to the Old Testament, 2 Kings, the 16th chapter, verse number 6. For all those who are watching my video, you can follow along. Go to BibleStudyTools.com, and you can also go to BibleGateway.com to follow along. You know, we do our Bible reading. Then you go to the Old Testament. Now you know the children of Israel. The children of Israel. The Jews, they are not God's chosen people. They are not. Those are the people that God told the children of Israel to utterly destroy. The Jews. The Jew and Jews, they are the Perizzite, the Canaanite, the Amorite, the Hittite, the Hittite, the Jebusite, the Girgasite, and also the Philistine, the Midianites, and the Moabites, and all the others that the children of Israel encountered on their way to possess the land of Canaan. See, God told the children to destroy these people. That's what the Jew and Jews are. They're not the children of Israel. Now, Numbers chapter 25, Israel's harlotry in Moab. Deuteronomy 7, a chosen people. Deuteronomy 13, the dream of dreams. Judges chapters 2 and 3. The book of Ezra, chapter 9, and it's titled Intermarriage with Pagans. Look, emphasize verse number 12. Now, that's who organized crime is. The Jews. That's organized crime, the devil worshippers. Because that's who their people were. The people that God told the children of Israel to utterly destroy. They were devil worshippers. They were going after other gods. What other God? There's no such thing, no other. They were devil worshippers. That was organized crime. So when people try to, separate organized crime and devil worship, they're one and the same. The Catholic Church and all their particular church, the Latin the Alexandrian Rite, Coptic, Ethiopian, Eritrean, the Armenian Rite, Armenian, the Byzantine Rite, Albanian, Belarusian, the Bulgarian, Croatian, the Serbian, the Greek, the Hungarian, the Italo-Albanian, the Macedonian, the Melkite, the Romanian, the Russian, the Ruthenian, the Slavic, the Ukrainian, the East Syrian Rite, the Chaldean, the Syro-Malabar, the West Syrian Rite, the Maronite, the Syro-Manichaean, organized crime, devil worship. The Protestant Reformation Church and the 95 Theses, major branch, Adventism, Anabaptism, Anglicanism, Baptist churches, Calvinism, Lutheranism, Methodism, Pentecostalism, minor branch, Hussitism, Waldensianism, Plymouth Brethren, Holiness Movement, Quakerism, multiple others. Then you have the interdenominational movement, Evangelicalism, Charismatic movement, the Neo-Charismatic movement. Then you have other developments, Arminianism, Pietism, Puritanism, Neo-Orthodoxy, Paleo-Orthodoxy, Christian fundamentalism, modernism, and liberalism. Then you have related movements, non-denominational churches, house churches, organized crime, devil worship. The American Restoration Movement, the Stone Campbell Movement, the Churches of Christ, the unaffiliated Christian Church, Church of Christ congregations, the Christian Church, Disciples of Christ, organized crime, devil worship. You have people like David Koresh, Jim Jones, the cult leaders, the cult groups, L. Ron Hubbard, the Scientology, the Mormons. They had a prophet. He wrote a book. The Zoroastrian, they had a prophet. Islam, they had Prophet Muhammad. The Sunni Muslim, Prophet Muhammad and his companions. And that's Sunni Islam. And then you had the Shiite Muslim, Shiite Islam. They prophet is Ali. It's Ali. And the Baha'i, they have a prophet. The Sikhs, they have a prophet. See, it's all organized crime. It's devil worship. Then you have people like the American Muslim Society. Then you have the Moorish Science Temple, the Nation of Islam, 5% Nation, Black Hebrew Israelites, the Rastafari movement. It's all organized crime, devil worship. Now we're getting ready to go to the Bible. Now, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, established only one church. Only one church. Jesus Christ, the Son of God, established only one church. In Matthew chapter 16, verses 13 through 19, and Matthew chapter 18, verses 15 through 20. See? The one and only church that Jesus Christ, the Son of God, established. We're going to the United Nations to make it official. There's only one church. There's only one church that Jesus Christ, the Son of God, established. We're going to the United Nations. Going to the United Nations. Going to make it official. And at the same time, the International Criminal Court, the United Nations, the International Criminal Court, filing criminal charges, civil charges against the Catholic Church and all that particular church organized crime, devil worship. And the Protestant Reformation churches, the 95 Theses. The 95 Theses, criminal and civil charges. It's organized crime, devil worship. The American Restoration Movement, the Stone Campbell Movement, criminal and civil charges. Criminal and civil charges. It's organized crime, devil worship. And the rest of these people, talking about their occult leaders, the ones I just mentioned, like Jim Jones and David Koresh and all them, like the Nation of Islam, the American Muslim Society, the Scientology people. See, the Mormons with their so-called prophet. He wrote a book. See, the International Criminal Court. The International Criminal, the United Nations, every nation on this earth, we're going to make it official, it's only one church. Every nation on this earth, the United Nations, in the United Nations, the International Criminal Court, every nation on this earth, the International Criminal Court, filing criminal and civil charge. What you're doing is committing a crime. You committing a crime. It's organized crime, devil worship. The Nation of Islam, the 5% nation, all these so-called black Hebrew Israelites, it's a crime. The Rastafarians, it's a crime you commit. And at the same time, over at the United Nations with the International Criminal Court, the United States Justice Department, the United States Justice Department, criminal and civil charge. And while at the United States Justice Department, the federal charge, every state government, there are 50 states in the United States and U.S. territory, criminal and civil charge. It's a crime that you committed. It's a crime. See, for so long, you've been allowed to walk, go around and to do all this stuff. Every nation on this earth has a Justice Department. Every nation on this earth has a Justice Department. Criminal and civil charge. Just read the Bible. Now we're going to go to Jesus established the church, the one and only church, Matthew chapter 16, verses 13 through 19. And then we're going to read Matthew chapter 18, verses 15 through 20. We're in Matthew chapter 16, verses 13 through 19. When Jesus came into the coast of Caesarea Philippi, he asked the disciples, saying, "Whom do men say that I, the Son of Man, am?" And they said, "Some say that thou art John the Baptist, some Elijah, others Jeremiah, or one of the prophets." He said unto them, "But whom say ye that I am?" And Simon Peter answered and said, "Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God." And Jesus answered and said unto him, "Blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood have not revealed unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. And I say also unto thee, that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. And I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever thou shalt loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven." There's only one church. There's only one church. Jesus Christ, the Son of God, established only one church. Now we are in Matthew chapter 18, verses 15 through 20. "Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. But if you will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more, then in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. And if you shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. But if you neglect to hear the church, let it be unto thee as a heathen man in the public. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever you shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever you shall loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Again I say unto you that if 2 of you shall agree on earth and touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them. Jesus Christ, the Son of God, established only one church. Only one church. Criminal and civil charge. Now, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, he gave his apostles, whom he chose, a commission. He gave his apostles, the apostles that he chose, a commission. We're going to go to the book of Matthew, chapter 28. We're in the book of Matthew, chapter 28. And we're reading verses 16 through 20. Then the 11 disciples went away into Galilee, into a mount where Jesus had appointed them. And when they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. And Jesus came and spake unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you, and lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. Amen. And also, the book of Mark, chapter 16, verses 14 through 20. The book of Luke, chapter 24, verses 44 through 49. The book of John, chapter 21. Now, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, he chose 12 apostles. He only chose 12. Now, one of his chosen apostles, Judas Iscariot, he fell by transgression. So then that left 11. Jesus Christ gave a commission to his 12, to his, the 11 apostles were left once Judas was gone. So they had to pick another apostle. Now, as we prepare to go to the book of Acts now, all these man-made religious organizations that we just mentioned, you know what I just mentioned, they be reading those epistles that Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed apostle Paul, he wrote. And he called himself an apostle. He called himself an apostle. He is a self-proclaimed apostle. Jesus Christ, the Son of God, never chose him to be an apostle. He is a self-proclaimed apostle. He lied. He the devil. Saul is the devil. Now, those epistles that he wrote, see, that's devil worship. That's devil worship. That's what the devil do. He deceived all of us. He wanted to deceive me, wanted to deceive you. That's what he do. And that's what he did when he went to Rome. When he went to Rome, he deceived the people. And that's how the disciples end up, having a lot of being persecuted some more. Is by Saul going to Rome. And while he was in Rome, he wrote those epistles. It's devil worship. Because he the devil. Don't read those epistles. See, we're going to get something done about that. The church, the disciples, the saints, we're doing something about it. It's devil worship. Now, one of those scriptures that we want, that Saul wrote, Romans chapter 16, verse 16. Salute one another in the Holy Ghost, the church, with the suffix es, churches of Christ. Salute you. Another scripture that the man-made religious organization used is Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed apostle Paul, the devil. He wrote 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 verse 4. So that we ourselves glory in you in the church with the suffix es, churches of God, for your patience and faith in all your persecutions and tribulation that ye endure. Now we're going to turn to the book of Acts, chapter 1. We're going to read the whole chapter, chapter 1. There's only 12 apostles. And Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed apostle Paul, he lied. He is not no apostle. We in chapter 1, Acts chapter 1. The former treaties have I made, O Theophilus, of all that Jesus began both to do and teach, until the day in which he was taken up, after that he through the Holy Ghost had given commandments unto the apostles, whom he had chosen, to whom also he shewed himself alive after his baptism by men infallible proved by being seen of them 40 days, speaking of the things pertaining to the kingdom of God. And being assembled together with them, commanded them that they should not depart from Jerusalem, but wait for the promise of the Father, which saith he, ye have heard of me. For John truly baptized with water, but ye shall be baptized with the Holy Ghost not many days hence. When they therefore were come together, they asked of them, saying, Lord, wilt thou this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? And he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power. But ye shall receive power after that the Holy Ghost is come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me, both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Samaria, and unto the uttermost part of the earth. And when he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, by standing gazing up, into heaven. This same Jesus, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. Then returned they unto Jerusalem from the mount called Olivet, which is from Jerusalem, a 7 days' journey. And when they were come in, they went up into an upper room, whereby both Peter and James and John and Andrew, Philip and Thomas, Bartholomew and Matthew, James the son of Alphaeus, and Simon Zelotes, and Judas, the brother of James. These all continued one accord in prayer and supplicating with the women, and Mary, the mother of Jesus, and with his brethren. And in those days, Peter stood up in the midst of the disciples and said, the number of names together were about 120. Men and brethren, the scripture was needed to have been fulfilled, which the Holy Ghost, by the mouth of David, spake before concerning Judas, which was guide to them that took Jesus. For he was known with us, and had obtained part of his ministry. Now, this man personally filled with the reward of iniquity, and falling headlong, he burst asunder in the midst of all his bowels gushed out. And it was known unto all the dwellers at Jerusalem, insomuch that field is called in their proper tongue a Salome, that is to say, the field of blood. For it is written in the book of Psalms, let his habitation be desolate, and let no man dwell therein, and his bishopric let another take. Wherefore, of these men which have company with us all the time that the Lord Jesus went in and out among us, beginning from the baptism of John to that same day that he was taken up from us, was one be ordained to be a witness with us of his resurrection. And they appointed to Joseph called Barsabbas, who was surnamed Justus, and Matthias. And they prayed and said, thou Lord, which knoweth the hearts of all men, shew whether of these two thou hast chosen, that he may take part of this ministry of apostleship from which Judas by transgressed fell, that he might go to his own place. And they gave forth their lots, and the lot fell upon Matthias, and he was numbered with the 11 apostles. There's only 12 apostles. Only 12. And this is the second epistle of the Apostle Peter, chapter 3, verse 2. That ye may be mindful of the words which were spoken before by the holy prophets, and of the commandment of us, the apostles of the Lord and Savior. And this is the epistle of Jude, chapter 1, verse 17. But beloved, remember ye the words which were spoken before of the apostles of our Lord Jesus Christ. Now I'm going to turn it over to the book of Revelation, chapter 1. I'm going to read verse number 11. Saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last, and what thou seest, write in a book, and send it unto the 7 churches which are in Asia, unto Ephesus, and unto Smyrna, and unto Pergamos, and unto Thyatira, and unto Sardis, and unto Philadelphia, and unto Laodicea. Now this is the revelation of Jesus Christ, chapter 2, verse 2. I know thy works, and thy labor, and thy patience, and how thou canst not bear them which are evil, and thou hast tried them which say they are apostles, and are not, and hast found them liars. this is the revelation of Jesus Christ, chapter 18, verse 20. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God hath avenged you on her. Now, this is the revelation of Jesus Christ, chapter 21, verse 14. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. There's only 12 apostles. There are only 12 apostles. And you think it's not a crime being committed? How could you say that? There are only 12 apostles. There's only 12. Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed apostle Paul, the devil. He the devil. Now I know some people. I know it take time for them to absorb, to come into the realization that Saul is not just a human being, but he the devil. That's what the devil do. He deceive all of us. See, that's what he did. He called himself an apostle of Jesus Christ. He was lying. He's not no apostle of Jesus Christ. He's not no apostle, period. Now we in Acts chapter 2. We're going to read Acts chapter 2. We're going to start reading verse 1. Let me say this. There's no such thing as no speaking in tongues. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as speaking in tongues. We're in Acts chapter 2. We're going to start reading verse 1. And when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all with one accord in one place. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven as of a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting. And there appeared unto them cloven tongues, like as of fire, and it sat upon each of them. And they were all filled with the Holy Ghost, and began to speak with other tongues, as the Spirit gave them utterance. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men, out of every nation under heaven. Now when this was known abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because that every man heard them speak in his own language. There's no such thing as speaking in tongues. And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, Behold, are not all these which speak Galileans? And how hear we, every man in our own tongue, wherein we were born? Parthians and Medes and Elamites and the dwellers in Mesopotamia and in Judea and Cappadocia and Pontus and Asia, Persia and Pamphylia and Egypt, and in the parts of Libya about Cyrene, and strangers of Rome, Jews and proselytes, Cretes and Arabians, we do hear them speak in our tongues the wonderful works of God. There's no such thing, no speaking in tongues. And they were all amazed and were in doubt, saying one to another, What meaneth this? Others mocking, saying, These men are full of new wine. But Peter, standing up with the 11, lifted up his voice and said unto them, Ye men of Judea, and all ye that dwell at Jerusalem, be this known unto you, and hearken to my words. For these are not drunken as ye suppose, seeing it but the third hour of the day. But this is that which was spoken by the prophet Joel. And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith God, I will pour out of my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. And on my servants and on my handmaiden I will pour out in those days of my spirit, and they shall prophesy. And I will shoot wonders in heaven above, and signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before that great and notable day of the Lord come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. The men of Israel hear these words, Jesus of Nazareth, a man approved of God among you by miracles and wonders and signs, which God did by him in the midst of you, as in yourselves also know him being delivered by the determinate counsel and foreknowledge of God. Ye have taken and by wicked hands are crucified and slain, whom God hath raised up, having loosed the pains of death, because it was not possible that he should be holden of it. For David speaking concerning him, I foresaw the Lord always before my face, for he is on my right hand, that I should not be moved. Therefore did my heart rejoice, and my tongue was glad. Moreover also my flesh shall rest in hope. Because thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, neither wilt thou suffer thy Holy One to see corruption. Thou hast made known to me the ways of life. Thou shalt make me full of joy with thy countenance. Men and brethren, let me freely speak unto you of the patriarch David, that he is both dead and buried, and his sepulchre is with us unto this day. Therefore, being a prophet, and knowing that God has sworn with an oath to him, that of the fruit of his loins, according to the flesh, he will raise up Christ to sit on his throne. He seeing this before spake of the resurrection of Christ, that his soul was not left in hell, neither his flesh did see corruption. This Jesus hath God raised up, whereof we are all witnesses. Therefore, being by the right hand of God exalted, and having received of the Father the promise of the Holy Ghost, he hath shed forth this which ye now see and hear. For David is not ascended into the heavens, but he saith unto himself, the Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou on my right hand, until I make thy foes thy footstool. Therefore let all the house of Israel know assuredly that God hath made that same Jesus whom ye crucified both Lord and Christ. Now when they heard this, they were pricked in their heart, and said unto Peter and to the rest of the apostles, Men and brethren, what shall we do? Then Peter said unto them, Repent, and be baptized every one of you in the name of Jesus Christ, for the remission of sins, and ye shall receive the gift of the Holy Ghost. For the promise is unto you and to your children, and to all that are far off, even as many as the Lord our God shall call. And with many other words did he testify and exhort, saying, Save yourselves from this untoward generation. Then they that gladly received his word were baptized. Now, being baptized, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, he gave the example on baptism. He gave the example on baptism. John the Baptist baptized Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, the Son of God, went down in the water. Went down in the water, fully submerged. Jesus Christ, the Son of God, gave the example on baptism. And they that gladly received the word were baptized, in the same day they were added unto them about 3,000 souls. And they continued steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine, in fellowship, and in breaking of bread, and in prayers. And fear came upon every soul, and many wonders and signs were done by the apostles. And all that believed were together, and had all things common, and sold their possessions and goods, and parted them to all men, as every man had need. And they, continuing daily with one accord in the temple, and breaking bread from house to house, did eat their meat with gladness and singleness of heart, praising God and having favor with all people. And the Lord added to the church daily such as should be saved. Now I'm going to read Acts chapter 3, starting at verse number 1. Now Peter and John went up together into the temple at the hour of prayer, being the ninth hour, and a certain man lame from his mother's womb. I tell you what, just give me a brief moment, because I don't want to open, when I try to upload my YouTube channel, I don't want it to take forever. So I'm just going to briefly stop this video, and as soon as I stop this video, I'm going to start right back. So just give me just a brief moment.